It's talking about this nation.
We've got 6 minutes left until our next guest, so I have two little quick questions, and people in the chat, if you have questions, go ahead and chat or call in on our phone line, which is 914-338-0452. The first one actually loops into what you just were talking about, and I kind of wanted to talk with you about false prophets. But one lady who's been going around the world, and she says that she's God's prophet to the nations, and who's very much tied into this dominionist thing that Leah was talking about, is named Cindy Jacobs.
She's an apostle in Wagner's thing.
Yeah, and she says that, let's see, her latest prophecy or statement has been that the reason that for the Gulf oil spill was because of Obama's treatment of Israel.
Yikes. Yeah. Not so much. Not so much. Israel has got to obey, and they are not going to obey until they get that spirit of grace and supplications pour out upon them. In the meantime, the language of Zechariah 3 is that their garments are filthy. And you know that they do not obey, and they don't think they have to obey, and they've got their hands in the awfulest parts of this human experience right now. The awfulest. The drugs and the pornography. Look, do I have to spell this out? The Jews have got their hands, they're up to their eyes. Can you say Bernie Madoff? And so,
Bernie Madoff. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
All right. And then the other thing I wanted to ask you, and then we've got another question in the chat room. My question is, do you think that there is life on other planets? And if so, you don't believe that? Okay.
No. There's no Bible for that. There's no Bible for that.
Well, I was going to ask, if there is life, because we've got an infinite universe out there, I mean, would they have like the same God and the same Christ, or how would that work?
Well, first of all, they don't. But since life is going to continue, and it's going to be in a different kind of I don't know what all this will be, but we don't have light on that because we don't get any Bible on it. We don't have any words of scriptures. We know though that there isn't anything new about this, these stars, these planets, and all that, because you've even got the prophet Amos talking about God creating Orion. Job talks about the constellations and such. There isn't anything new about any of that. We don't have light about what's going to happen with all of those things in the future. So,
Shirley, I have to jump in here real quick on the oil spill and stuff. One of the things I know that, for example, Sarah Palin has said, and I only bring her up repeatedly because she is the poster girl now for this movement.
Yes.
Is that there is a total disregard for global warming or any kind of environmental disaster because they, they're looking at the end times being within 20 to 40 years. And so at one point, I know her to have said that God gave us exactly the amount of resources we needed to use up before end times, before the apocalypse. So therefore, it's like this her drill, baby drill, was kind of a chant for her religious devotion.
Yeah, well, you know what God says, when He's talking about these people that He's going to turn His wrath on, He calls them in one spot these people who destroy the earth. They all have got their. Oh my gosh, Gore. I mean, and of course, he's not even a pretense of a righteous anything, but running their mouths about all of these things, and they're throwing up all of these. Look, they can say global warming, but what I'm saying is that the earth is preparing herself. This nation, when it drops, is going to, like a rock, into the bottom of the ocean, and there's not going to be anyone left alive in this earth. I mean, in this country.
But Shirley, do you think that we should act irresponsibly in the meantime?
No, we ought to be moderate in everything, and of course not irresponsibly. Of course not. None of the policies of these earth-destroying, look, and we don't even know the tip of the iceberg. You can't hardly watch very many of these 2020s, Dateline, 60 Minutes, where they go around the country and the world, the global picture, and how these corporations and like in Peru and the places where they go and they poison their waters and they poison their people, and of course they ought to not be acting irresponsibly, but they all come under the heading or the category of those people described as those that destroy the earth. They don't have any business doing this.
I guess that's what my point is that I feel like it's a real arrogant attitude, because I was actually in Anchorage in 1964 during the 9.2 earthquake, the largest one we ever had in North America. You know, I mean, I think if I had thought that was the end of the world right then, I would have given up. I don't think we need to give up. I think we need to adhere to, you know, you won't know when I come, like a thief in the night. And
that's exactly right. And so that's right. So you're supposed to be watching in all things, and you're supposed to
not
be obedient.
by initiating war with Iraq or you know, pushing the